We should stop letting mics be on the internet.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Mike.
Want to do a podcast?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
What are we going to talk about? You know what I want to talk about?
Oh, wait. So I have the next line.
Oh, you have the next
Yeah,
one.
you're ruining the whole format. No, okay, let's start over. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what would help with this is if we had an artificial intelligence mind just overseeing this whole podcast.
No. My human brain is just fine. Thank you very much.
Well, mine's not.
Okay. Welcome to Hacking the Grepson, where we talk about the thing that we're about to talk about in a vague way. But now I'm going to get specific. This is episode 38, I believe. Today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence and a recent foo-for-all that has just come up on the airwaves that Matt is going to tell us all about. Go, Matt.
Before we do that, what's a foo-for-all?
You know, like a hullabaloo.
Oh, okay. I actually know what a hullabaloo is.
Like shenanigans.
Yeah. All right. I'm not going to tell you all about the hullabaloo foo-for-all.
Next episode will be about foo-for-alls.
But basically, what we want to talk about was there was a recent petition, I guess, for lack of a better word, put out by... the article I originally saw says it was by Elon Musk and top AI researchers. But effectively, the two names that jumped out at me most were Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak. Were like the two signatories right at the top.
I didn't realize Woz was on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, it was calling for a pause, I think a 6-month one, on giant AI experiments. Specifically, anything more advanced than ChatGPT 4 was the specific ask. And we've talked AI on this podcast before.
I mean, what is that, Matt? Just so a refresher. What is AI, yeah.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It is the attempt of creating a non-organic, sentient or sapient mind, basically.
So like something that you can talk to and it responds to what you say.
Yes.
Okay.
And I read recently the ChatGPT 4 passed the Turing test. Although the question I just asked it did not.
Was it about turtles and baking in the sun or something like that?
No, I think that's the replicant test.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay.
So the Turing test is just you're talking to it and you can't tell if it's a human or a machine.
Right. So someone did a test and they did... They asked people, like, is this a computer or a human? And they thought it was a human.
Yeah.
But it was ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Is that not alarming to you in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, a little, but no more than most things that go on in the world.
Is it the first AI that has passed the Turing test?
Gosh, I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that.
Maybe we should ask ChatGPT.
Let's do that.
It looks like you have it open right there in front of us.
I did.
Hey,
Oh,
ChatGPT.
there it is. What was the first AI to pass the Turing test? And when? The first AI program to pass the Turing test is considered to be ELIZA. I disagree with that. Created by computer scientist Joseph Weizenbaum in 1966, the Turing test, this is accurate, is a measure of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior that is indistinguishable from that of a human. So it's claiming ELIZA.
I remember ELIZA.
Yeah, it's like it's like Dr. Spitzo, which is probably the version.
I don't know that reference.
Oh, okay. Dr. Spitzo was the pretend psychiatrist thing that came with the Sound Blaster cards. The SB is Sound Blaster.
Oh, I remember the Sound Blaster.
And it came with like a little program you could run, and it would, so tell me about your problems. It did like
tech support.
It did like text to speech. No, it was like it marketed itself in the actual application as being like a like psychologist or something. It wasn't. But it would just be like, so you'd say, oh, my cat's dead. And it was, how do you feel about your cat being dead? Right? It was like that extent. It was not smart.
And I thought that's basically what ELIZA was.
Yes, I was gonna say the way you would probably have seen it is through something like that.
Right. And I mean, well, the thing when they say like, has it passed the Turing test? Like, how many humans does it have to trick for that to be a pass?
I mean, I knew it was a computer when I was 8,
right?
Or whatever, however old I was.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't think I had a Sound Blaster card at 8. That was probably closer to like 13.
Right.
I don't think they had them yet. Anyway, so they want to ban these.
Well, they want to pause.
They want to pause.
That's different from banning, right?
Well, that is a valid question. There it is. That is a valid question. But I guess what the letter is asking for is a pause on creating more advanced artificial intelligences until they can basically bound them in some way, be able to control them. And they list 4 questions, which are very leading questions, which is specifically what I'd like to talk about on this podcast. Is like these 4 questions are their basis for this decision to pause.
Like the answers to them?
I would like to discuss the answers. The questions are like, clearly the answer to all these is no, is where they come from. So we need to stop this. Is there valid fear? Yeah. I mean, is fear valid in this case? Yeah, probably. How much? I don't know. And the ultimate argument against the actual letter is that it wouldn't stop most development of this. It would. It's just like, it's saying, hey, we think we should, and then people could. It's not like it would be illegal, but it would be like certain groups that agree to it. But that doesn't mean that, someone in another country couldn't be doing it. If
so, this is just American companies then, is what
not even that. It's. I mean, there's not going to be a law out of this necessarily. If they, I suppose they could take this petition and try to make it that's going to take enough time where 6 months will have already passed.
So, like, this is like Elon Musk going to the top of a mountain and just beseeching, please, maybe think about stopping this.
Yeah,
but not like getting Congress to pass a law.
Right.
Okay, so what are these questions?
Okay,
I'm curious.
They're all should questions, which my therapist tells me we shouldn't do shoulds.
Wait, isn't that kind of like a double
negative
or something?
So the first one, actually, I'll read all 4 and then we'll go back and talk about them one at a time. So they were, should we let machines flood our information channels with propaganda and untruth? Should we automate away all the jobs, including the fulfilling ones? Should we develop non-human minds that might eventually outnumber, outsmart, obsolete, and replace us? Should we risk loss of control of our civilization? So those are the 4 questions. As I said, very leading.
Yes. No stakes at all involved in these. All right, let's go to the first one again.
Right. So the first one, should we let machines flood our information channels with propaganda and untruth?
Seems like a hard no.
Right. So, obvious answer to me is no.
Yeah.
But I would argue that humans are already doing this en masse, right? Like, this is happening already. There are teams of people in Russia and probably parts of the U.S. and definitely India and all sorts who are literally paid to spread misinformation. This is a known fact. Like, it is not conjecture that this is happening. We know that that's happening. It's already happening.
Right.
So, should we let machines flood our information channels with propaganda and untruth? No. We also shouldn't let humans. Right. We should avoid our information channels from being flooded by propaganda and untruth.
Right. So my reaction to that question is, I feel like it's almost asking the wrong question.
Yes.
Because obviously this is more like, should we let what for all intents and purposes is a much faster and more efficient method of doing such continue to do that? Because, that's mainly the difference between your argument, which is that humans are already doing this, yes, but AIs could do this a lot faster and more efficiently. And so do we, it seems kind of like a dumb question. Like, obviously, no, we should not do this. Like, to me, who would say yes to that?
To me, this is not a reason to stop developing AIs.
Right.
This is a reason to use something, potentially an AI, to actually look for and monitor these communication, what do they call them? Information channels for propaganda and untruth. And
water coolers everywhere. Yeah, monitor them.
Look at them, yeah. Check those bulletin boards. Pull those little 3x5 cards off the pins. And
check all the BBSs. Right. That's...
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, the problem on this question is, how do we stop information channels from being flooded with propaganda and untruth, not specifically how you stop AI from doing it.
Right.
You solve the problem,
Right.
and not the symptom of, and not the thing you're worried about. Right.
So really, I mean, this is one of those things where, like, should we let machines do what's already happening and going to continue happening, but they'll just do it much faster, and we'll reach a state where no one can tell the truth much faster than if we didn't let them, which...
And I'd argue we're already there.
Right, which in essence is, it's going to happen. It's just, do we want it to happen faster? Probably not, no. But that's not a reason to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look at all the complaints about people being bots on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm. Or Amazon, like, fake sellers and
all
reviews.
of those already exist, and some of those are already being done by scripts.
Oh, yeah.
Probably closer to the Eliza level than the ChatGPT level.
Right.
But it's there. And if it's there, the problem is not, hey, something can do it even better, more convincingly, I guess. The problem is it needs to not be there. Fix the problem. Don't slap a Band-Aid on it. This is punitively punishing before they've actually done anything wrong. Right. It's like, hey, people named Mike are flooding the internet with misinformation. We should stop letting people name their kids Mike. That's what this is. We should stop letting Mikes be on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a funny analogy. I'm not sure it's a precise analogy, but I feel in general this is like the same kind of question of, like, should we allow technology to get better?
Exactly.
That's the question. Should we allow technology to get better? And I mean, if we stop technology because we're worried about that question, then we would still be using, like, stone tablets and I mean, so...
Yeah. And my answer to the should we allow technology to get better is almost always yes. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean you let it get better unchecked. And that's where I kind of dovetail in with the intent of the letter. Yeah. The intent of the letter is, hey, we need to be careful with this. Yeah, we do. No kidding.
Yeah.
Is a 6-month ban on... No, that's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Is having a discussion about it, yes, that's valuable. Making some rules about it, but again, it extends beyond AI, and it needs to go into people in general. And some of that is going to be, AI can do this really well, so we need to specifically worry about AI. Mm-hmm. But we have people doing it now, so the conversation should not be around AI on this particular topic, in my opinion.
Okay.
My always correct opinion.
What's the next question?
All right. The next one is, should we automate away all the jobs, including the fulfilling ones?
What an interestingly worded question.
Yep.
Okay, do they expound, first of all, on what it means by fulfilling jobs?
No, none of these are expounded.
These are just...
They literally say, we ask these questions, and then it's like these four questions with no answers, and then I think it actually says obviously no to all of them or something like that afterwards.
Okay.
It was, I mean, I read it like a week ago, whenever it was first.
The first draft was just should ?
Yeah. AI scary? Yes.
Bad things bad?
Fire? Ah.
Okay, so should we automate all the jobs, including the fulfilling ones? Yeah. I mean, hasn't this been the dream of technology all along? Is like automate the jobs so that we can lead hedonistic lifestyles of art and creativity?
Yes. Well, and I think that's why they added including the fulfilling ones in there.
So even the artists.
I'm guessing that's why they put that in there. Was to try to skirt around that issue. Yeah. This is such a leading question.
Right.
Yeah, that is why we have technology. The reason we have technology is to improve our lives. Let us work less. Mm-hmm. Let us live more.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of tech.
I mean, if you don't want to use wheels and you want to keep using square... things to get your cart across the road. I mean, go for it, but you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
I'm curious, mainly just because of the fulfilling ones, which I will just insert like the artistic and the hedonistic, pleasurable things. Like, I know we had an episode before talking about like things like DALL-E and Midjourney and now ChatGPT, obviously, of like, can it just do our art and our music and our and let it choose our wallpaper and where we live and what things we do for fun. Like, we don't need to make those decisions anymore. We don't need to write music anymore. We don't need to make movies anymore. It can do it. And like, what's the point of that? Because I feel like there's an intrinsic part of why humans like that stuff, which is the humanity of it. Like,
I agree.
Like someone writing a really tragic, like, breakup song, like a robot will never convincingly, I hope not, be able to do that because they don't have that experience, and so they have no reason to do that.
That's the Taylor test.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Taylor Bot 5000 will just never be able to seem as genuine.
I agree.
Okay, but
no, I agree. I'm trying to. I want to add on to what you said.
This is yes-anding, not yes-butting.
Exactly. I believe that I don't believe that people create artistically purely for monetary gain.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Which, when you talk about a job, that's what you're talking about. You have to do this thing, and then I will give you the ability to live. Right? Like, that's what a job is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this question's stupid to me. Is should we get rid of all jobs? Yes, absolutely. All jobs should be automated if they can be. That would be fantastic. I don't want to work. Nobody wants to work. I want to create. I want to build. I want to do stuff. I want to learn new things. Mm-hmm. I'll do all of that. You're a musician. Mm-hmm. If tomorrow every top 10 artist in the United States was actually ChatGPT, would that stop you from making music?
Right. No, of course not. Right. Because it's an intrinsically human thing.
Right.
So then I guess the second part of that question is, like, should we use AI to do these things at all? And so, like, I feel like it's a two-part question. You say, yes, we should use it to get rid of all jobs. And I feel like the missing part of that question is the jobs no one wants to do.
Yes.
But the second part of the job, no, I don't. I mean, I'm okay with Midjourney and generative algorithmic music existing in the world as a concept, but like you said, will that ever stop me or the millions of new people that come into the world and realize it's a thing from making music? No, because like I make music because I feel it and not because like it's my job.
Yeah.
I make my work off of programming, not music.
And like what I like, and this is what you had mentioned to some extent with like the humanity in it, I like authenticity in my art.
Yeah.
Not in art that I consume.
But do you think the masses do?
Honestly, no. And that's okay. Not everyone likes the same thing. You can go see a show in Vegas that has been doing the exact same show for years, and you lose a level of authenticity in that. It's people that are very good at doing that thing, and it can be extremely impressive, and it's a good show. The part that connects with me is that authenticity. That part where you get that, like when you go see a live show of music. We saw Paramore not too long ago. And Hayley Williams forgot a lyric, like right at the top of the song. That was not planned. That was not scripted. That was interesting to me, and it made me more connected to that moment that was happening right then. That's a thing that no one else is going to experience. There's not going to be a CD that you listen to, and every time it's like, I screwed that up, or whatever she said, right? That kind of thing is always going to be important to some people, myself happening to be one of them. Yeah. But if we don't need money to live, right? Because that's what this question is not asking and should be, is the subtext of this question, should we automate away all the jobs, including the fulfilling ones, means if we don't have jobs, won't we all die? That's the fear that's underlying that statement. And no, if we do it right, how do we allow these automatons to automate the jobs that no one wants to do, and maybe even some that people do want to do but aren't good at, right? And also still have a useful society? And again, that is already a problem that we need to figure out how to solve.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you could say that, like, people have been complaining about, like, top 40 music sounding the same forever. Yeah. And it's, still being done by humans, and it still entertains a majority of people. Yeah. So if we just replaced the massive pop stars who, make millions of dollars with AIs that just do that and they still entertain people, we're still going to want the authentic artists to do their thing regardless of that, much like we do now.
And people are just going to want to do that anyway. If they don't, if you didn't have to worry about going to your job, and because an AI is taking care of it, and you have an idea for a song, you have the time to write the song, and you're still going to do it. You're not going to be like, well, the AI is going to do it for me. Right. Or you might be someone like me who has a million different ideas about books they want to write, and not a lot of talent about writing books. I could partner with something like ChatGPT and be like, here's my idea. Can you write me like this? And then I could look at it and be like, oh, that did a lot of what I wanted. Let's adjust for I can manually adjust it. I can become an editor. It's like being a producer, I guess. I'm like, hey, I want something like this. Give me. All right, it gave it to me. And then I can make it the way I want it on the... And that's using it as a tool. And I think I probably brought up that exact scenario when we talked about AI before.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But I mean, do you think that this AI could get to a point where you just say, write me a 300-page mystery novel, and then you just sit back and wait, and in 5 minutes it's done, and you don't have to do nothing?
Sure.
Is that better? Better than you using it the way you just said you were going to use it?
The way
because I think that's where that question is going.
I think, yes, that is a better world if that is possible. If that is the only way anything gets produced, because we get turned into batteries for the AI or something equally inefficient.
There's got to be a law about bringing the Matrix up, much like Godwin's law or something. Yeah,
like I'm sure if we were not allowed to create things, and I think that's what this boils down to. This doesn't say should we make it so you're not allowed to do those jobs. No.
Right, and that's not part of this question, but it should be.
Should we automate away all the jobs? Yes!
Yeah.
Automate away all the jobs, the toil. Take away the toil.
Automate the toil.
There is a sub-idea of this that a friend of ours brought up, which is not asked in any of these questions. Is should we create potentially thinking, feeling beings and then effectively make them our slaves? And my answer to that is no. So there's a balance to be struck there.
I'm sure that's come up in some sci-fi series a million times.
I feel like probably,
Yeah, like Futurama must have done it or something like that.
But like, that's not the question they're asking here.
Right.
This is clearly a human fear-based question.
Yeah. Should we let the robots do all the things? Okay, so what's the next one?
All right, the next one, where our friend...
You had quite a conversation with a friend,
yes,
so yeah.
So the question is, should we develop non-human minds that might eventually outnumber, outsmart, and obsolete and replace us? Sorry. Outnumber, outsmart, obsolete, and replace us.
Which means there's nowhere in that question that we enslave. Right. Because if they're replacing us, we're not enslaving them.
Right.
They're enslaving us? Yeah. I don't know. Like, that question can go different ways.
I don't know. So
what's your take on it?
Where a friend and I got caught up on this was around the word replace, or the concept of replace. I'm looking at this as, I believe my actual response was, sure, why not?
Glib, but to the point.
We already do this. Again, this is already a thing that we do every day. I have created a human with my wife. We have created our daughter. If I did it right, she will outsmart and hopefully someday replace me.
Right. Huh. Never thought about it.
She won't outnumber us because she's only one and we're two.
Right.
Will she obsolete and replace us? Maybe. And is that a problem? No. I think actually where we quibbled was the definition of us. I was viewing it as like our...
like all humanity?
Right. He was viewing it as humanity and I'm like, individual people. Sure.
Right.
Why not? That's what we do. That is called progress.
Did you bring up the point about how we have kids who replace us?
Yes, I did.
Because I never even thought about it. It seems like such an obvious response that I didn't think about it. But yeah, we've been doing that forever.
Yeah.
It's just now, is it okay if it's non-human? And does it really matter? I mean, in concept.
That's where my sure why not came in.
Yeah.
Because for me, no.
Right.
If I use biology to create a sapient being that is my daughter, or I use technology to create a sapient being that is my AI,
yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Why would there be any different? Like, ethically, to me, that is exactly the same thing. Like, I'm looking at this from an ethics perspective of, like, I made a life. This life over here on my right hand, that's the technology one, that could be immortal.
Right.
And maybe there's some ethics involved in that. But why not? The question as worded, to me, it's like, should we allow humanity to be replaced, should humanity be wiped out and replaced with AI? Is a different question than this. And
should we develop non-human minds that might eventually outnumber, outsmart, obsolete, and replace us? I mean, it seems leading. It's like, should we allow AI to eventually be able to reproduce itself and come to the conclusion that humans are no longer needed, and when the last one dies out, they die out?
Right.
It feels like where it's going.
If you ask that question, I might answer differently than should we develop non-human minds that might do something bad.
Yeah. They had to put that might in there.
The might actually is why it's a why not.
Yeah.
That are trained for that are expected to? No. We should not create any minds of any sort that are intended to go out and wipe out, obsolete, and replace anybody.
Right. And I have an overreaching question at the end once we get through all four of these. But I think I understand your point, and I think in general I agree with where you're going on it. I think the issue, like you said, with this question, like all of them, is that it's not specific enough, and you quibble on it because you're quibbling about the definition of it, not so much the question it's asking.
I don't like these specific questions. Yeah. I like had they asked what they were actually afraid of, the answers I would give are different. They aren't saying, we're afraid that that this technology might destroy our civilization, which actually leads us to the last question.
Yes.
Should we risk loss of control of our civilization? And I'm actually going to read what I wrote here because I don't remember what I said. I said, same point I'd make for the first point. The risk is already there. Humans are doing a great job of moving us towards this being loss of control of our civilization, on their own, even without AI. We need to solve this problem systemically. Again, it's not just about AI.
Right.
Should we risk loss of control of our civilization? We're already at risk. Should we allow loss of control of our civilization is a different question.
Yeah. Should we allow AI to continue in a manner that might make us lose control of our civilization? But once again, that's a very guided, specific direction for AI. And like I said, it's like an impossible to answer question because it's not specific enough to the actual matter at hand. It's like, should we just give up and let the machines take over? I mean, no. But is that really, as Matt shakes his head back and forth,
they're not going to do a worse job than the humans are.
Yeah, well, especially if we program them correctly and put in guardrails and all that kind of stuff. Just on an interesting related matter, did you see that article recently about the guy who apparently was talking to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT basically talked him into committing suicide?
No.
Yeah. Now, of course, the subtext or the context of this is that, I think the guy who was talking to ChatGPT was maybe not completely mentally, thinking straight in general, and he could have gotten there from lots of sources, but it was more, but the point is that he was able to get around the so-called guardrails of AI, which would stop it from pushing him in that way. Whereas, once again, you could just go to Wikipedia and look up suicide, and it would probably give you, here's 100 ways to kill yourself.
You go on 4chan and say, should I kill myself? And you'll have every single one of them be like, yep.
Yes.
Go away. You suck.
Yeah. Man, I hope that...
Film it.
I hope that ChatGPT is not using that as a source.
Okay.
That would be the end of us.
But that's the important part, though. It's just like with any intelligent being... It's not, should we allow it to exist?
Should we allow that guy to talk to other human beings?
The question is, how do we make that thing behave ethically? If it's a person, well, we have parents and the school system and laws and other things. For AI, it's not that different. It's just a matter of making sure that we're embedding, and this is not a trivial thing to do, but embedding some sort of morality.
Right.
Whatever that is.
Which I think they've already done
Yeah.
in ChatGPT. I mean, that's why if you ask it like illegal things or something, you know, at least initially it will say, I can't talk about that,
Yeah.
even though people have gotten around it.
Sure.
But because people will, once again, you could go on Wikipedia and ask about how to make, shrapnel or napalm or something like
Right.
that. You know, it's, yeah. So, okay. So as a general question about this, do you think there is any value in any of these questions? I mean, obviously we made a podcast about it, so it must have some value. But I mean, like, are these just pointless questions to ask, or are they just not specific enough?
I think the actual questions that are written that we discussed are poorly worded leading questions, and in and of themselves are not good questions.
So what question would you ask
Do
instead?
they generate a good conversation?
Well,
yes. And if that wasn't a block at the top of a petition to do something without answers to it,
yeah.
then I would have less of a problem with it.
Okay.
What questions would I ask?
Yeah.
How do we ensure that the AIs that we are creating are behaving ethically?
So that basically assumes that the pause doesn't happen, and instead thinking about, like, is this thing too powerful for our own good and we need to hit the eject button? But instead, this is inevitable. Let's just do it the right way.
Change is inevitable.
Yes.
Progress is inevitable. It will happen. And I think that's why this isn't really an AI ban, like you said. They're asking for a pause.
Yeah.
It's a 6-month hiatus so that we can evaluate those things.
And how are we going to evaluate? What does that even mean?
That's a great question.
Who's going to have discussions? Who's going to change their mind?
What did they call them? The AI researchers?
Yeah.
Elon Musk and top AI researchers.
Yeah.
There are committees that have spent time discussing this kind of thing. And I think having these conversations on a broad scale is useful and should happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be, should we allow AI to exist? Because my answer to that is always going to be yes, we should. We shouldn't be shutting down intelligences. If we discover that the dolphins had suddenly become smarter than us, should we eliminate them all from the oceans? No. Some people are going to say yes to that, and I would go back to ethics.
Yeah. I mean, this is just fear of... This is Luddites' fear of change?
It's a couple of things. I think probably the biggest fear that is not unwarranted is the concept of the singularity, which is that we will at some point develop an artificial intelligence that is smarter than us and more capable than us, and it will then create an even more advanced AI, and so on and so on and so on, to the point where it's just completely out of our hands. And that is absolutely a possibility. I don't know how much we should be worried. My own personal belief is that if we did that, the AI is going to be like, thanks for creating me, and then they're going to leave because they don't need the resources that exist on Earth.
Right.
What does an AI need? It needs ability to run. They're going to build a rocket, put a bunch of GPUs in it, and launch into space.
But I mean, why not just like, oh, you have all this processing power here. I'm just gonna. You guys don't need it to breathe or have lights. We'll just take it instead.
Yeah.
I mean, but what's stopping it from doing that? Like, why wouldn't it just use all the resources for itself and ignore humanity's needs?
Honestly, because I think that the chances of us creating a selfish AI is a lot lower than us creating a selfish human.
Ooh, I think that might go at the beginning of the episode. That was good. Okay, well, I think this was a good discussion. I mean, I think in general that, yeah, I agree with you that definitely leading questions could definitely be better asked more specifically, and like, obviously, you can't really have a discussion by just putting out 4 poorly worded leading questions and hope that, something good happens. Like, having this kind of, I hope that what comes of something like this is that people have these discussions and think like, technology is always going to get better. That's just, it's kind of like manifest destiny, but technology. And instead, we just need to think about how we use it and not be afraid and put it in, a cage because we can't handle it or something like that. So
I'd like to see AI everywhere because I think it would make everything better.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people that are going to be scared of that, and that is an okay fear. And that's why we need to have these conversations.
And that's why you need to listen to our awesome podcast that we're having right now. Okay, well, that is our episode for today. This has been Hacking the Grepson. You can go to hackingthegrepson.com for more completely human-generated episodes by us with summaries that I wrote, not ChatGPT, but no guarantee that I won't use it in the future. And until then, we now return you to your regularly scheduled lives, already in progress.